feeling?
Oh, fire it up, footballers. James here spitting fire. And before we get into it with Big Phil of Black Fires, greatly appreciate him coming on the show. Kick that like button like you're trying to score a penalty kick in the middle of Soldier Field. Well, or maybe at the end of Soldier Field. Maybe not the middle. That's a far way to score a penalty kick. Ring that bell icon and let Chicago know Chicago Fire are here to take over MLS, and subscribe to Spitting Fire as we burn down the YouTube algorithms. Thank you, Phil. Man, what is going on, dude?
Nothing much, man. Just vibing, just enjoying the night off, and gonna enjoy being on doing this with you.
Hell yeah, brother. It's a beautiful night here in Chicago. Greatly appreciate you hanging out here. I'm having we got a little drink. Make sure you guys help yourself, get you guys set up, and we are going to get into a little bit of Black Fires. We're going to talk Chicago Fire. We're going to talk Sporting Kansas City upcoming. We got Ezra Hendrickson on the docket, and a few other fun stuff. All right, brothers and sisters, slam that like button, kick it. We'll get into it. Let's go, Fire fans. Boom, boom. Let me get over to the cam. All right, Big Phil. Oh, man. So, Big Phil, how many times have you been doing this? The old podcast rigmarole.
Done it a few times. So, done it quite. At this point, it's almost like riding a bicycle.
Dude, you were on the West Ham podcast, weren't you? Or so one of those West Ham podcasts. That's awesome.
American Hammers TV.
Mm-hmm.
I was on there earlier this week.
Again, or for a second time, or for
second time?
Well, let's go, man! You're making the circuit, dude. You got a book going?
No, nothing like that.
Oh, well, let's get that in the works. All right, we'll keep that secret, keep it safe. We got Slow Days checking in. What up, Slow Days? What is up, everybody? Well, all you Spitting Fire fans, what's going on, all you pyromaniacs? Greatly appreciate you guys hanging out here on Spitting Fire, where we get into it and hang out and talk Chicago Fire all the time. I'm going to try and get a lot more consistent for you guys, try and have a lot more consistent Wednesday night podcasts with whoever wants to show up and pop on the Discord. I've been trying to get a hold of Black Fires, and Big Phil was kind enough to hop on, so that's what we get for tonight. It's going to be a blast. We'll talk a little Black Fires and ask them what's going on there, like what's the next steps, and and all that good stuff. And get into Chicago Fire versus Sporting Kansas City and all that jazz, and you guys know what's going on. What up, Connor? What's up, chat? Greatly appreciate you all hanging out here. So, Big Phil, Black Fires. You guys are 2018. You guys have been around for a while.
Yeah, it's feeling like that right now. I mean, I honestly wouldn't have envisioned this that far back, but here we are, and still trying to go strong.
When I was listening to one of these recent podcasts that Wooji was on, another co-founder of Black Fires, it was a lot of people were just looking up to you guys as the way to go about this, and also the news that Wooji was delivering on that podcast was very enthusiastic to hear. We got Jiggly Mod checking in. What up, Jigs?
Hey, Jiggly.
So, but like I said, you guys were getting a lot of congratulations and kudos, and also like pointing out to like that you guys kind of forged the way and then created like a template for these guys to follow, for other Black supporter groups to follow. Like what is Black Fires? Black Fires is a Black supporters group. Is it Black only? How does that go?
So basically, it's a Black supporters group. One thing we always say is that you can still support us regardless what's going on, and we will support you. It's never been an issue of supporting each other. It's just we were built to be a group that helps out Black fans around the city who are just trying to find their place in the game, whether it be at the MLS level with the Fire or down to the lower leagues. So for us, we just want to bring in the community and try to build something strong for the future going further, going on.
So yeah, you guys were like, it's like you guys were trying to attract these like-minded folk who, black people, people of color who like soccer. Wuji was saying like they be Chicago Fire people would be surprised how many different black communities love soccer. I don't know. I don't know if it gets a knock as a white sport because it's like the global game. But
No, it gets a
what do you
knock as a
mean?
white. It gets a deserved knock as a white sport in America because guess what? Those were the only faces that you were seeing for the longest period of times. When it came to American soccer, that was all you were seeing. So, there was like that kind of like one of the things that I remember when I first met Jake. This story will always be told. One of the things he said was, "I'm tired of this the supporter stands looking like a white frat boy party." That was one of his things,
Mhm.
and I agreed wholeheartedly. Like there's more to the soccer community than just its white fans. Uh, if you're willing to put in the work to get those fans out to games,
That seemed
and
to be. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go on.
oh no, it's fine.
Yeah, but that's one of the things I was hearing in this podcast, and how you guys. Well, here's the thing that I don't think some people understand, like how important it is for representation to see people like you doing it. I don't know if some people truly understand that. I was listening to this awesome masterclass from Issa Rae. She developed this awesome show. She's a black YouTube girl turned HBO producer and writer. She's amazingly talented, and just hearing her talk about how back in the 90s and 80s she didn't see people, women specifically black women in the media, even on like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Steve Urkel's show, Family Matters. Like she didn't see on these types of shows the women that she saw in her life. So that's what she wanted to go about doing. She started writing about these people and showing videos of that. She came out with awkward black girl. I'm forgetting the other one, her most famous one. It's on HBO, but she basically figured out a way. It's like, and there's an audience for this, because, and B, figured out that this is how you do it. Why not make those characters?
Yeah.
And so you guys saw that gap and were like, we need a place where black fans feel truly welcome to come in and hang out, talk soccer, talk Chicago Fire.
Yeah, that's. I'm sorry. Give me a second.
Take your time.
Let's
I
go
was saying is
on
like
with
that's kind of
this.
like what I'm seeing here with Black
Um,
Fires as a goal.
yeah, I mean that's our overall goal is to build that representation, and build that community, and hopefully move forward with it. So to the point where for anyone who may be new to the game, they feel like they have somewhere to go where they can feel comfortable dipping their feet into the water without feeling this type of judgment or dealing with any type of gatekeeping that might go on.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, where would some of these places be if there's people say watching the show? They're like, "Hey, I'm a black guy. I love soccer. How do I get in touch with Black Fires?" I think follow you guys on Twitter is a first stop, right?
You definitely follow us on Twitter and follow us on Instagram. Those are our main media.
I will have link in the
So
description. But where
that,
else can we find you? Like, say game day, or do you guys do things outside of game day as well?
oh, so game day depends. Like we'll always update our Twitter and let people know what our plans are. Sometimes we'll be in the South Lot, sometimes we will be on Waldron Deck. Really depends on what's going on. But in terms of outside of uh, game day, one of the things that we've been doing is we've been getting in to rec league, not even rec league, but you know, just playing futsal and playing out, playing. I wouldn't say just indoors. We'll play outdoors sometimes. Like we have a group called the Urban Football. There's a group called the Urban Football League.
Mhm.
Did a collaboration with before the home opener where we went and played futsal in Kenwood Park at
These
the
are great
pavement.
ideas. Yeah, I
So
like
like
that.
one of the things was like, okay, well, how about we play a game and then go to a game? And it worked out great. Got to see a lot of faces that I got to see a lot of faces that I was playing with earlier in the day. It was great, and it was just trying to get people comfortable going back to games, knowing, hey, it's not just going to be one of us anymore. There's going to be more and more of us there. So there's this level of comfort in going to games.
And then
Uh,
it's
uh,
more attractive, and then all of a sudden there's more people going.
yeah, of course. And over time, hopefully, within this season, we'll be able to have host a larger event, outside of fires. Um, but it's one step at a time. It's one step at a time. We
Big
just want
Phil, it'd
to.
be awesome if Soldier Field and Chicago Fire could somehow, let you guys play on one of those lawns over there and get like a little pregame going there outside Soldier Field on the lake. They do that for like
Yeah,
some of the big games and stuff. I remember like, we've gone to like Manchester United and like, the big some of the other big games, and like there'll be festivities going around Soldier Field. That'd be so cool. They could
it would be, but um, baby steps at this point.
Yeah,
That's all I.
baby steps. Well, baby
Yeah,
steps is starting these meetups, getting together. One thing I was thinking like was like, just encouraging more people. Hey, come hang out here, talk fire, talk in the chat. You guys, all of a sudden, everybody's in our chat. It's like Jiggly's talking with Connor. We're talking with Slow Days, even though Connor, I think, lives down in Ohio. But like the people that live in Chicago, when they're interacting here, it's like, boom, this is the little community. Bam. And all of a sudden, bam, it's like and then all of a sudden we all like fire. We all have a blast together. Oh, we have a get together. All of a sudden it's like, yeah, okay, I'll go and hang out and have a beer with these guys. And I think that's like one thing that we got to kind of really foster too.
yeah, you're 100% right. I'm grateful that you have me on.
Oh, dude, I want
I
you
know
on all the
you've been.
time, man. Whenever you got time to hop on in the Discord. That's the way I want the Discord ideally to be. Like people could just hop in, hop out, drop a few audio logs on the fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you've been working hard, and one of the things that I told you, it's it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Mm.
So it's one of those things where when you keep working hard, it will pay off. It will pay off.
Well,
And
one thing for I'm sorry, Bill.
go ahead.
Well, the one thing that also impacts Black Fire membership, impacts viewership on my show, is that interest in the fire is still at that. It's not yet. It's still filling up, still gestating, still building up inside of Chicago. I feel like right now, like in a couple more wins for the Chicago Fire, all of a sudden I feel like Chicago people in Chicago might be like, "Ooh, oh, summer's coming. Oh, I'll go to a fire game. Oh, ooh, I'll see what's going on here."
Well, yeah, winning is the winning's a big part of that. I mean, it's no secret when the Fire started to lose its what foothold it had in the city. It had a lot to do with the fact that they weren't winning, and when you're not winning, you don't have the marquee faces. People are not gonna be as attracted to the product on the field, and people are not going to want to invest as much money, say, in going to games, and then ultimately, joining supporters groups or being a season ticket holder, or even just trying to bring other people out to games. Excuse me. Um,
It's cracking me up, brother.
uh,
But yeah, I
so
agree.
so that's where it is at this point. I'm feeling pretty good about where Black Fires is and where we're trending. I think for us, it's not even while a big part is Chicago. It's just in soccer overall, the relationships we're building with other Black supporters groups, the growth in Black soccer fans across all of U.S. soccer, not just MLS, but even in the lower leagues. So, that's really inspiring to see that uh, happening for supporters who look like me and look like Jake and you know other minority groups that are starting to make their names be known.
Speaking of
I think
looking
this
at
is
you,
both
do you want to reveal your face on this face cam, or do you want to remain
I
anonymous?
mean, I think people see. I think people know. I mean, it's not like I'm Tyrus, so I
I
think I
was.
think I think it's done.
Oh, oh, oh
I
man,
get
Big
he's
Phil.
my face.
Whatever you want to do, brother. No worries.
I mean, people can see me. I mean,
I know
here
we
I
don't want
am.
people like also walk up. Oh, it's Tyrus. It's Tyrus. There it is. Tyrus, can I get an
I think
autograph? Tyrus, can I get an autograph? And I'm like, no, hey,
I'm
not,
pretty sure everyone knows at this point that I'm not him.
you're not.
It's
You were telling me.
okay. What?
I was saying you were telling me, and I was like,
Yeah,
what? I was
like
like, what? And that was so crazy. That time. That
I
was like
think one
drama
thing
in the fire community. It was like, ooh, what?
is like, why is he coming out? He can't show his face. He's Tyrus. Jiggly, no.
So they saying gonna sell 2023 after the fire win the league this year. Yes, so days. I think Chicago are going. I don't know if they're gonna sell out, but they're gonna get more attention. They're gonna get. Here's the other thing I found surprising: Chicago Fire had like the second highest attendance. Attendance is down maybe across MLS, so something to keep an eye on.
It really depends. It really depends. Because I think one thing people forget, it's not only about win. It's not just about winning. Winning is very important.
Mhm.
It's also who you're bringing to the stadium in terms of player profile. Like bringing in Shaqiri, that brought a lot of. That's gonna bring people.
Mhm.
At Shields, they brought all the Chicago Cologne fans out. Even Cologne fans from surrounding states wanted to see him play at Soldier Field. Imagine signing a even bigger DP in the summer potentially, depending on what you do with Gaston Jimenez. But
Mhm.
that's another conversation for a little down
Ooh.
the line.
All right, I'll save that for later. Gaston.
Um,
Get ready for that,
for
chat. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean that's the huge controversy. Torres from Atlas, like that's you're gonna. He's a young, promising L Tree player, so you're gonna have a lot of L Tree supporters who want to come out and be able to uh, you know, see him in play. So in a city like Chicago, it's not simply just winning. It's winning and it's who you're winning with. That's majorly important.
I agree. I think that the Fire finally have that formula right too. After years of not having the right formula, like they had good players. I mean, Schweinsteiger, McCarty, and Nikolic, like that good year 2017. Like it all worked, but that to me still wasn't the right formula to draw the community out, to get the true community interest, to get that Chicago Fire fan base humming again. I got so much in the chat, but I really feel like Casper Przybyko, even though he might not be shining right now, I'm willing to give him time. Just feel like that's was a great signing. Jairo Torres is incredible, unbelievable. Like they knocked it to me. That's a grand slam for the Chicago Fire. What they did there finally, as far as a template for what drawing interest into this team is aimed towards the demographics that love the Chicago Fire here, and then bringing in new fans. Shaqiri is is that type of player that can do that.
And it's like the formula for Chicago soccer. You get the European superstar talent. You get the local kids who now you're bringing through the academy into the first team. Then you go ahead, you get an L tree player. In Torres's case, he will be one very soon, in my opinion. I think he has all the tools to take his game to that next level. And then you bring in a Polish player, which Shabilko fit the build. He's a good striker. I think for him, he's just finding his feet. I look at him like I looked at Nikolic when he first got here. Took him a little bit of time, but once he got on his front foot, he was golden that season.
He was golden.
Got the golden boot.
The golden boot. In 5 different leagues, and MLS is one of them.
Yeah, that goes to show he was a walking goal. Yes, he frustrated you because he didn't really have anything else to
In his locker.
game.
Yeah.
He frustrated you with how many times he would be offsides in a game. You could even bet an over-under on that, and you'd always want to take the over. But, yeah, like he did his job. He scored goals. And hopefully that same thing happens with Shabilko. I think Shabilko is going to have a lot better service than Nikolic had. Just being honest, based on the level of talent we brought in. So for me, I think he's going to get his goals, and this team is going to start scoring more with more consistency. And credit to Ezra, 3 games, 3 clean sheets so far. He's getting the job done. And to Gregor Heinz, look, I had my opinions on him.
Mm-hmm.
I will be the first to say that. Had an interview where I basically said he might be a good guy, but you couldn't trust him to spend the money the right way.
Mm-hmm.
In the first 2 years, he didn't. But this year, he's finally spent the money the way he needs to, and that is good. And I will
I agree with you, Phil.
For that.
We were in the same camp as you. We were not Georg Heights believers prior to this season. In fact, we were like, it's time for him to go. And then this season happened with everything that he was able to do. And all of a sudden, like all the moves he made in retrospect all fall in line with this. And this team has matching parts, things that work together in concert. And it's a working thing. I have so much things in the chat I got to get to, but by the way, you had a great betting tip about that offsides thing on Nico. I wonder if you have any others like that for current Chicago Fire, because you said if you notice Nico, he always gets offsides. That's a great over bet. If you have any more of those for Chicago Fire, I'm curious. And also about Pushabilko, in comparison to Nikolic's positioning right now, Pushabilko's positioning it's off right now. It's a hair off.
It's just fine tuning at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you get Torres in on May 1st, I think that also changes the dynamic a bit. I think it takes a bit more pressure off of Shaqiri because now you have somebody who can create down the wing that you feel will create more consistently down on the wing. And that's no shot at Herbert. They've done solid jobs.
You think Herbers will sit versus Ivanov?
I want to say, yeah, I think Herberts would sit. Or, if anything, if they do it the way I think they may, you might have a situation where they put Torres on one wing, they'll sit Ivanov and have Herberts on the other one. It's really a coin toss at this point.
Yeah. I agree. I'm going to catch up on chat here. Slow Day saying, wait, he's not Tyrus? Jiggler saying, I'm Tyrus. In fact, we were all Tyrus. He's inside of all of us. I love when Reddit says, Tyrus is the friends we made along the way. That's one of my favorite ones. Whoever says that one makes me laugh. Not that I check in on Reddit all that often, but when I do, in an occasion, when I read that one, I was like, oh, that one.
Dude, people were creepy on Reddit about that. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, people were very creepy
On that
about,
thread? Oh my God.
they were creepy about trying to find out how I had a connection inside the club. I'm like,
Dude, that
yo,
whole thread. Yeah. They were like, they're like,
weird.
is he? He's not. Is he this? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Why did he take the bullet?
Even Tyrus was like, yo, y'all chill. Y'all need to chill out. And I'm like, I did the dude a favor for a little bit. Like, and then the jig was up. But anyone who actually, knew me or paid attention would have easily found out I wasn't Tyrus. So almost proved my point that some people are just a bit too gullible, and it was a bit too easy to do it to them.
Big Phil. That's fun. DPG saying, I miss Tyrus dropping into Twitter. DPG, we missed you on the grade show last week, so hopefully you're around for either the next one. By the way, I'm not going to be at the next game here, folks. I'll be streaming it live. Life events, once again, get in the way, precluding me from being able to get out to the fire, but I will be out and one of the next few as soon as I can. And we'll figure that out. But let me catch up on chat, guys. I'm brutalizing this, Phil. Sode saying winning. I know I'm not. I'm just having a blast with you guys. It's so much fun talking fires with you guys. You guys are my favorite people to talk fire with.
As Torres is a central player and Shaqiri is already playing. No, well, here's the thing, Jiggly. Hendrickson made it clear that he views Shaqiri as the 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in MLS, I can see why.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think he doesn't have the pace you want on the wing compared to a Torres. And so I do understand him wanting to go ahead and put him in the middle and let him operate from the central area. It's just going to be a matter of time.
He's still got quickness though, Shaqiri, so that's why he's effective. He's got great burst speed, and he's got cheeky touch. He's ingenious. He's been doing so much great work, unseen work. Well, you see it for a glimpse. He is the focal point of the offense. Like, the ball goes through him and it springs through him. It is awesome. The Chicago Fire are starting to figure out something. Finally, Big Phil, we got the DP at number 10, and it's like a great DP. And a great number 10 for MLS and a lot of other leagues.
Yeah, and I think once you get everyone in that you want, I still believe they're probably trying to work on another transfer in the summer.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I'll ask you about that. But by the way, Slowday saying winning/buzz equal fans will find out. I agree with that, Slowdays. Spartacus Vibe saying, I'm Tyrus. No, I'm Tyrus. No, I'm Tyrus, says DPG. Connor McCabe saying, hold on, I just missed it. I think the Fire attendance will go up once all the Bulls and the Blackhawks seasons are over. The Blackhawks, I don't really know if people are too worried about the Blackhawks, but the Bulls are drawing significant interest. I'm hoping that they can make a deep run. How are you feeling about the Bulls there?
It depends on the health. Depends on how people recover from their injuries. Patrick Williams you only just got Alex Caruso back.
That wrist is still so rough.
Yeah, and Patrick Williams, he's training with practicing with Windy City right now, but he was cleared to full contact.
He had a brutal injury, right?
Yeah, earlier on in the season, it was one of those where you really was like, wow, he's done for the season.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to be back.
No one thought he was going to be back this early, but he was able to come back. I hope he's not rushing himself. I will say that. I don't want him to rush himself too quickly, but if they gave the clear, all good, then I have no reason to doubt them at this point. And then we're just waiting on Lonzo.
Zach's knee needs to kind of, heal up a little bit. That seems to be bothering him. But I'm
Yeah,
so
but at this
excited.
point,
I'm sorry.
no, you're right. At this point with his knee, it's like I don't even think it's as much about is he injured. Yeah, he's injured. It's just about pain management.
That's the problem. Like, oh damn it, you need him and DeMar going so hard for us to win it all. I could see us winning the first round of the playoffs, but to go all the way, they really need all hands on deck.
And I think you're gonna have to, if it wasn't for those injuries happening the way they did, I think I'd feel a lot better. But DeMar's literally had to be MVP as he should be given the MVP. I think there's no.
He has to. I think I put money on him for MVP at some point. Oh my god, he's so good.
I think Jiggly. I'm sorry, Jiggly. Lee Kang-in is not going to be a fire player. I know Tyrus hurt you with that.
Oh no. Oh,
I know Tyrus hurt you with that, but I need you to know it wasn't intentional per se. Just forgive me for
Jiggly
that.
Jiggly was so burnt on that. He was telling, oh man, he was, just, oh, poor, I felt bad for Jiggly. Yeah, Jiggly was hurting on that one. Slow Day saying that Casper probably should have a goal and 1 or 2 assists by now. It will come though. He's in the right spaces and contributing. I think he's like in the right spots, but he's still 1 or 2 steps out of position, like where that tightness, like he's not game tight yet. And maybe once he gets there, I'm expecting the goals to follow. He's a part of the offense, big part of the offense.
He has to be, like, that's what he was brought in to do. Duran was not. I don't think realistically Duran was going to be the day one starter. So bringing him in to kind of try to
a 17-year-old day one starter, Phil. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, in some parts of MLS.
I'm talking about Gaga.
Yeah,
17.
Some parts of the MLS.
You're right. There's other people. There's other parts of 17-year-olds starting in MLS too. I think Philly, Dallas.
Yeah, quite a few of them. Dallas always. Red Bulls always have at least 1 or 2 youngsters they throw in. Eventually, Sporting KC quietly sneak one of their youth players in. It's just all about how deep you want to go into your academies. I think Chicago finally has cracked the code for the academy system, and so that's all good.
That's huge.
Yeah, but going back to the earlier point about Shabilko, yeah, the goals will come. But I was talking with a Union fan when the trade first happened. One thing that they talked about was that he was a volume scorer. Like, he's gonna need a lot of chances to get those goals. That's just how he is. And then I believe there was a statistic that showed that he had a much better scoring rate when he was playing up top with another striker.
Yeah.
Versus playing up top by himself. So that's interesting to say the least. But hey,
you got to think that you need your striker to be scoring goals though to win more games than not in MLS, and that's what the Fire's goal is here. So we definitely need him to kick on. Nico's dominance for the Fire is unfortunately overshadowed in my head by watching Kerr around the Sam Kerr around the same time for the Red Stars. He was great.
I mean, she still is. Doing great for Chelsea. She was really one of those signings that I wish she was still here for the Red Stars.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at how the striker position has gone for them, uh, she was really missed, to say the least.
They never. Well, it's hard to
They
replace the
never-
best striker in the world. Imagine that.
Imagine not being able to replace the top 10 striker.
Yeah.
But still made the championship game last year, so hey.
They did, but then the crushing loss, and then the even more crushing aftermath in the middle of the night.
That's yeah, to say the least. But going forward, hopefully, right things happen. Sell your shares on them, and hopefully, for the Red Stars' sake, they're able to finally get the closure on that situation, be able to move forward. Not only for the players but for the fans as well, who've been pretty much the ringer throughout all of this.
Slode saying Heights really turned it around this season. I had hoped that he had spent the first 2 years as a learning curve, and it seems like he learned some things. Jiggly saying as Ohnberg. Oh, unless you want to comment on that.
The Omsberg.
Or Omsberg.
Omsberg. Yeah, it's only 3 games, yes, but
it's only 3 games. You can't get too high or too low. Yeah.
Compared to last season, you know what? I'm okay with 3 clean sheets. We can come to terms with it's just being 3 games, but I would rather feel confident on building off of those 3 games compared to the last few seasons. So,
Big Phil, that's what makes me. Big Phil, that's what makes me so confident going forward. Is like those performances I've seen in these last 3 games. I haven't seen out of the Chicago Fire ever in the last 7 years or so. I have not seen what I'm seeing right now, and I'm telling you guys, we're seeing something different. We're seeing away wins. We're seeing away points. We're seeing a game plan. We're seeing one of the best defensive units in the MLS combined with one of the best goalkeepers in MLS. Like, this is not 2017. This is not Jorge Bava in net. This is not Lamson.
Don't say that name. Do not say that name.
Yeah, this is different. This is and even that 2017 defense wasn't as good as this defense. Guys, this is one of the best defenses the Chicago Fire have had, I think, in the last decade. And that midfield, the word we'll get into Gaston here. I think that's something we definitely got to get into with chat. I got to catch up on Slow Days. Ezra is awesome. I love Ezra too. Slow Days. He said that he's a big part. Today he said that he's a big part of bringing the Fire Legends back to the club. Love Ezra Hendrickson.
I mean, the fact that it took for him to have it happen. It feels weird, but I'm glad he's embracing the history, the past, the culture of who the Fire were, and trying to bring that spirit back. And clearly, right now, he has the team, buying into how he wants to play, buying into how he wants us to play, how he wants the players to play, and they're buying into the ideals that he's trying to bring to the club, and that, to me, that's all you can ask for.
Speaking of those ideals he's bringing to the club, there was a great little press conference he put on the other day talking about tradition, honor, passion. Now, what they're saying, what Slow Days is saying about him bringing back these Fire legends, think about this, by the way. This is huge. I've talked with ex-Fire legend Piotr Nowak in behind just me and him hanging out, and it's just, you learn a thing or two about what's going on, like, and how it kind of works when you talk with a former MLS winning coach like that. And for Ezra Hendrickson to have the confidence to be able to bring back those Fire legends speaks volumes about the stranglehold he thinks that he has on this job. I am such a fan of everything I've seen out of Ezra Hendrickson. Like, everything just makes me grow more into more of a fan of Ezra Hendrickson. I'm fanboying over this coach right now. Like, I haven't fanboyed over a Chicago Fire coach since no way. I don't know who. I mean, when was our last coach that we're fanboying over? I'm digging this coach. I'm liking everything he's bringing to the Fire. He's not intimidated by these six Fire legends that he's like, yeah, bring it back in. They're not come for my job. I will bring them. And in fact, their fortitude, their work ethic, their history, their passion, their honor, and is going to rub off on this current group. And that's what he's all about.
And I think you look at so many other coaches across the MLS and you see the way they've been able to put their footprint on the club. Schmelzer in Seattle, Jim Curtin when he would Jim Curtin. You just think about all the great coaches in MLS, how they've been able to have the great careers that they have. They've been able to put their foot in their imprint on the club from day one. And so to see him do that here, it gives me a great feeling going forward about what's to come.
Do you think that Ezra might go? Do you think that some team might try and pull Ezra overseas after this immediate success that he's going to feel here with the Chicago Fire? I ask this because I think here's how it's going to break down for the U.S. men's national team. Eventually, Jesse Marsch is going to leave Leeds and become the U.S. men's national team coach, probably for the next World Cup 2026. Because I've learned some interesting things about Ralph Ragnick and Jesse Marsch lately. And I'm so excited about that former Chicago Fire player. And I wonder with this Ezra, like, this guy knows what he's doing, but I want to talk more about what we think. I have to watch more games. I want to figure out what his offensive game plan is, how we press, what our triggers are, what our defensive plan is. There's been times I've seen like a 4-4-2 played in defense where it was Shaqiri and Prishabilko kind of playing that 2-point on the 4-4-2 defensively, and then it would shift into that 4-2-3-1 offensively. So like, these are some of the things I've been seeing. What have you been seeing there, Phil?
From Ezra so far in terms of offensive personality, I mean, trying to play through Shaqiri as our playmaker has been the main idea, trying to play through him and then go out wide and try to get service into Shabilko. That's really been it's been the basic plan, and it's okay. That's fine. Trying to set up play through the middle, it works. It's just we haven't finished. I look back at that Miami match, and I think back to that Jimenez chance that goes by the far post. Think about the chances that we were creating towards the end in the Orlando game. It's not it's nothing genius about what he's trying to do.
Well, right now it's basics, right? Right now it's probably like, getting the fundamentals down of this offense, figuring out where the first three passes go, as Piot would always say, know where those first three passes or so are going. And I've heard Ezra say a lot of the stuff that I've heard Piot say. So that's another thing that I think I really like about him.
Yeah, I mean, that's all there is to it.
Yeah, right? I'll catch my chat. Jiggly saying when Torres shows up, Shaqiri needs to play out wide. I don't know if I agree with that, Jiggly.
No, I don't agree with that at all.
I want somebody who's got, like you were saying, Big Phil, I want somebody who's got more of the that pace and that physicality to. You're not saying Shaqiri doesn't have the physicality to and the strength to do it, but the pace and that ability to stretch defense is what I'm looking for. Shaqiri's our guy that we want dancing on the ball, maybe flicking it to that guy.
Yeah, that's where I am with him at this point. Like, playing him as the 10, I'm fine with that. Especially if you get the right players on the wings, really cause chaos. That's all you really need.
Shaqiri sprints. He's getting lots of sprints, lots of runs in as that cam, but he's not called on to go beat guys like in the capacity that going to beat that man at the end line, touchline is. Like he's got to go. He goes. He's already ahead of a defender. He's able to turn, look around, and create something. Like it's him playing the number 10 role is so fantastic, and I think it's getting him ready for World Cup too.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing, you know. He has a lot of motivation to have a great season in MLS.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a point to prove. Everyone's thinking, oh, he making the move to MLS. He's washed. He's finished. It's like, oh, he's none of that. He can easily have a very quality season, but by no means is it going to be because MLS is of a terrible standard. That's not the case. That's a 10-year-old take, at 5-year-old take at this point, at going to MLS, you know, is running away from real competition.
Sode's saying Ivanov is more goal dangerous and Herbers is more defensive chops. That makes me kind of think that if that's the case, like Ezra's going to keep Herbers out there for those defensive chops and he'll switch Jairo Torres in for Ivanov. That's kind of what I'm picking up there from Slow Days. But Jiggly disputes what we're saying Torres is a central player and Shaqiri is already playing at right wing at times. He is playing, like he pops out at that right wing at times and then works his way interior. He switches with the cam at times in the game.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Yeah, he's trying to find spots.
Also, when he pops out, it creates space so that you can have one of the midfielders, you know, ghost into that area that he leaves unoccupied and creates more opportunity, more danger.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. You know, that's how it works. Sometimes players work better inside out. Some players work better when they're tucked in. It just depends on, you know, what you're trying to get out of certain players. And I think for Shaqiri, that's fine if he's some periodically ending up on the outside trying to create overloads or trying to create chaos.
I think that's going to work fine with what Jairo Torres brings. Jiggly saying that if you look at the heat maps, that's where Jairo Torres is playing already typically. And that's also what you're seeing out of Shaqiri. Sorry, I missed that, Phil.
Look at the
the
heat map.
I
think he's talking about Shaqiri when he said the heat maps.
Okay. Like that he's drifting over to the right side. Well, that's what he's trying to find space, and that's the thing about Shaqiri. If you remember when we did a little scouting report on Shaqiri, and what he likes to do, he likes to come in from that right wing, well above the penalty area, though, so he can take. So he's got more space, like versus a different right winger, like I don't know, somebody who would want to get more goal forward and get inside of the penalty area. So Shaqiri wants to get the ball and be outside of the penalty area. He likes to take those long shots. So, I mean, that's what, like, it sounds like, you know, if Jairo Torres does come, he does play maybe more central, like, it'll work. It should work with what they're trying to do here. So they're saying we need Torres crossing for Casper. That guy looks to have an effective delivery. Shaq is currently second in the league for key passes. I don't think you mess with that. Whatever you're doing with, wherever you're putting Shaq, like, but that's the thing. Like it shows up in different spots because remember, like 4-4-2 defensively, all of a sudden he's part of he's not that playing that 4. He's playing the part of the 2 with this push Bilko. So it's interesting what Ezra has Shaqiri doing in these games.
Yeah, but right now it's working, and the thing that people should look forward to is the idea that it's only going to get more dynamic the more quality players that they're going to bring in. Like I said, I don't think they're done at this point. I think there's still maybe one or two moves left. Like there should be at least one more because I think we need midfield depth.
Yes.
We're lacking that very much so. You're one injury away from having a problem.
Well, Big Phil, didn't we see our old, Bornstein come in and play midfield?
He played right wing.
Yeah, like that's the depth of this team right now. You got Jonathan Bornstein, center back extraordinaire, center back, left back extraordinaire, 30-year-old, coming in and playing forward.
I think that was more of a, all right, we'll have two fullbacks on one wing to help defend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
That I don't think that was about, okay, let's have him attack. I think that's more of, we have the lead, let's shut this wing down.
Ezra's a genius.
It happened to work out that, good old Bornstein was able to knock in a nice goal, by the way. Very, very smooth with the finish.
That play, Big Phil, that play certified that gave Ezra so much confidence. He's like, dude, he had the balls to make that move, to put in a questionable move, a move that anybody else would be, every pundit would be, if this was like Barcelona, they'd be like, why are you playing Sergei Roberto at right wing? Why are you doing this? Why are you playing Alphonso Davies at left wing? Like, yeah, I know he could maybe do it once in a while, but like, why?
He does it well.
Alphonso Davies could probably definitely do it. Maybe that's not the word. That's probably the worst comp. But you guys know what I mean, though. Like playing like the left back as Paquileta at left. Wow, he could probably do it. He's just such a smart fucking player as Paquileta. He could do anything. He gets shtick for being like slow. He's
horrible examples.
No, I'm giving the worst examples. I'm usually money backs at this. But Jonathan Bornstein is our Aspaqueta. And he is, man, I can't believe that Ezra had the ability, the balls, and the confidence to go make that move, and the intelligence. I think like that gave Ezra so much confidence to continue making these types of moves. We're going to see magic out of Ezra, and that was only the first instance, I think, last week.
I think there's two things with that move that I think people have to keep in mind on. Number one, Duran would have usually went in there. If it was 0-0, usually that's where Duran goes. But here's the two issues. A, when Duran has gone on, he has gone on to get a yellow card in the first two matches. So that probably plays into it. Considering how choppy the game was, how chippy the game was, probably made more sense not to put on the young, hot-blooded guy.
The defensive liability.
I wouldn't even say defensive, more so in terms of a liability in terms of his, not game IQ, but he's a 19-year-old kid. He's a 18-year-old kid trying to make an impact.
Big Phil, he's a defensive liability. That's what I would say as a coach.
You
don't tell him that.
I can't say he's been bad defensively, though.
Yeah. I'm just
we haven't seen him try to defend. We just seen him go ahead and try to go forward.
Right.
And number two, it's like you're putting a veteran in Bornstein in who can read the game a lot better, who has the experience and the wherewithal to know, how to handle closing out a game. I think that was most important for the Fire.
I think that was a great, intelligent move by Ezra. Let us know in the chat if you guys love that sub. Jiggly saying, I think you already answered this. Phil, tell us about Lee King In. Lee King Un.
The Phantom Lee King.
There's no way. I was laughing. There's no way. I'm like, do you guys see what team this is on? And like the other guy who was looking at was also rumored. I'm like, no, there's no way these guys are coming here. It doesn't make sense, but that's it. Poor Jiggly. Poor Jiggly.
It's okay, Jiggly.
Oh, he left. Jiggly. He left. He'll be back.
Jiggly,
We're
I'm
sorry, Jigs.
sorry.
Jiggly saying I'm scared to say dual 10s, but we know that Casper isn't good at the top of a Christmas tree. Run Noax 3-5-2-2, 3-5-2, 2 attacking midfielders, 2 strikers.
Okay, here's the problem with that. Then we have no depth at midfield, period.
Everybody's in.
Because here's your back three: Almsberg, Shihos, and Pineda. Pineda's played in the back. He's good at organizing. I mean, technically, Shihos takes that pressure off of him. And then in the midfield, you have to play Gaston and Federico.
You have to play Gaston?
So,
do you agree with that?
You have to.
I agree with that sentiment. Like, a lot of people saying it's time to sit Gaston or Pineda and get Federico Navarro out there. I'm of the opinion that you got your best 2 players out there right now.
Like, you have to. Like, and, you know, Tehran isn't back until next week. Based off of what we heard today, he's not back till next week. But even then, guess what? Now you really, if you try to play a lineup that puts Gaston on the bench, now you're risking your center back depth. You know, I do understand you brought in Kendall Burke, but you're still trying to figure certain things out with him. You're not going to throw a rookie into the fire like that. You know, I know it worked with Mauricio, but he was already, 22, 23 at the point when we signed him? When we signed him to that deal, so you felt a bit more confident. I'm not sure you can do the same thing with Kendall Burke. I'd love to see that happen.
Yeah, if he's got the confidence, they wanted to sign this kid. This guy had something.
I think they see him as a long-term solution going down the line, but I don't think they signed him feeling like he was going to play right away as a starter. Like, that's the thing. Some of these signings, I think people get confused. They assume, okay, he's immediately signing with the first team, automatically going to be able to get some playing time in the first team. That's not necessarily how it works out. Some signings are for the future. It's more of a project center back.
Jiggly's back. We're sorry, Jiggly.
Sorry, Jiggly.
Jiggly said,
in the NFL, they draft quarterbacks in the late rounds, and they're called the project or developmental guys. That's kind of like how some of these signings are.
And Burks, like, but they projected they guys got talent though.
Project he has talent, but they also know it's gonna take a bit longer for that talent to come to fruition.
Let's talk about Ohmsberg. Slowday's saying Ezra seemed to hint that Ohmsberg will not be the starter after next week with Carlos Tehran coming back. What are your guys' thoughts? And DPG chime in and saying that has Ohmsberg evolved into a starter? I think Ohmsberg is evolved into a starter. I can't see Tehran going out there and doing a better job on day one of him returning from injury.
Ohmsberg has earned the starter role until he loses it.
Yeah. Kind of how I'm looking at it, Big Phil.
Like I did tweet about this. I like looking at him, Ohmsberg, and Chihos. It's like Arnie Friedrich and Austin Berry.
Yep.
That was my direct comparison.
Did you say that in the chat the other day too? Somebody said that.
I said that on Twitter. I didn't say that in the chat.
Somebody said it on chat Twitter too. Maybe somebody was talking about your tweet too.
Because that's how it feels. That's how it looks like. And when we had that type of situation, guess what? We made the playoffs.
Helps having a good defense in MLS. I think that's the secret to, being one of the better teams in MLS. And that's why I've been telling everybody, guys, I know that the depth is a problem on this team. I know that we're missing parts like for a whole season of this. But right now, and Big Phil saying reinforcements hopefully coming, maybe 1 or 2 guys. That's all we really need is this 1 or 2 choice guys If we get those guys, this team should be fine. This team, starter-wise, defensively is amazing, and that's going to take this team a long way. So now they just need to figure out the offensive part, get those goals going in. Jiggly saying that I've fallen off with the Red Stars after everything from late last season going into the offseason. Poor, boring play, combined with terrible things and terrible decisions. Yeah, I felt so bad. It's been hard to be a Red Star fan.
It's been hard to be a supporter of women. It's been hard for women's soccer fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just us. It's plenty of teams in NWSL.
They're feeling like this weird, like, what, like, ugh. Like, how do we go forward from here?
You just have to try.
Put one foot right in front of the other. I'm sorry. Go on, Phil.
You're good.
All right, go. Jiggly saying, play the hot hand. I miss what Roblox weirdo said. He or she retracted their statement. 2017 wasn't Bava. That was Lampson and Sanchez. That's right. It was Sanchez, who I really thought, they just had to give a good run out to. And he just never turned into what I thought. God, Bava was less useful than an orange cone in goal, says DPG. Oh, you're so right about that, DPG. He was.
First of all, I thought orange cone was Harrington at left back.
Oh, right back.
Right back.
Or what, did he play left back too? Oh, shit.
Harrington, I feel like Harrington played.
Oh, shit.
Because I remember, it's the Atlanta match that I remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Played right back predominantly, or no, main position left back. Right back was his other position. He played both.
Played both.
Mm-hmm. Slow Day saying Giant Bava punched out a riot cop. Keeps a place in my heart.
It's a place in your heart.
The 1PG3 says, well, 1PG3, thanks for checking in, brother. Ohmsburg had been solid. We should keep watching where that goes. I agree with PG3 about Ohmsburg. Mm-hmm. Jiggly saying Carlos de los Cobos, maybe as an exciting coach. No, Shaqiri's already playing at right wing on heat maps. Put the young guy on the rings, AK Torres, says DPG. But we've kind of went past this, but yeah, I agree with DPG. Put the young guy on the wing, AK Torres, and let them kind of interchange him and Shaqiri. Johnny B was on the wing to shore up the defense. Slow Days agreeing with Big Phil without parking the bus in a 3 center back formation. Yeah.
Okay, let me rectify a prior comment.
All right.
Yes, it was Jorge Bava who started against Atlanta United in 2017.
Oh, what'd we say? That's right.
It was. Johan Kappelhoff got sent off,
Mm-hmm.
and then Brandon Vincent scored the own goal early on. I remember that game. I remember it well.
Jiggly saying, I want to see Becerra get a chance, get a run out. Zode saying, no, you need to bring Fed in. I think if Gaston is on the field, we need Federico to put out the fires Gaston creates. But that would mean taking off Pineda in Slow Days' example. And Slow Days also saying Harrington was right back for us most of the time. Jiggly saying CDLC was a joke.
CDLC was the joke. Wow. In this game, he was at right back. I will give credit on that one. He played right back in that game. He did play left back at times.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that fired That team was, yeah. That start to that season was brutal.
That there's a lot of change that need to happen from those teams. A lot of
But Jorge
change.
Bava was the starting goalkeeper. He was the starting goalkeeper for that first blowout versus Atlanta.
Jiggly admitting it, saying, yes, it was technically Bava, but he barely played that season.
Yeah, but that was one of the games he did play. He got injured, and we never saw him again. And then, they kept him on, I guess, to keep the insurance so he could heal. And then I look at that, and it feels kind of similar to what happened with Kronholm. He was just injured all year long, and they just let him stay on for the get the medical insurance. And then when his contract was up, it was up.
All right, Big Phil, let's start. Let's start doing it. We'll get into our last segment here, unless anybody else got stuff to talk about in the chat. But we're gonna talk a little bit SKC, Chicago Fire, and get ready for Saturday, boys and girls. By the way, we'll be here live on Spitting Fire about half an hour before the game. We'll get in our live bets in. We'll be looking at the starting lineups, and we'll be live chat. We'll be live calling it here, like we always do. So pull up a stream. We always encourage you to pull up a stream, put us up on the side, be our color commentary. I depend on you. I try to do my best as a play-by-play guy, but I depend on you guys to be my color commentary. I can't hear the intricacies of what the announcers are saying. I'm just having to go by what I'm seeing on the screen and having a ball with you guys. It's been the support I've been getting for these Chicago Fire live streams lately. We had like 20 people last week. It was incredible. I doubt we're going to have the same support during home games that we'll get during away games like it was last week, but greatly appreciate all you guys coming and hanging out here on Spitting Fire. That's the place. Hang out on YouTube for Chicago Fire content. Greatly appreciate it. Also, we got awesome new content for you guys. Got brand new stuff series coming out and already released the first episode. Check it out. It's called Chicago Fire Fan TV. Got more of these on the way, and I will make more. Oh man, you guys are in store for some treats here. Doing a little comedy for you guys, breaking up the doldrums of usual Chicago Fire content with some magic, and hopefully going to be able to bring in other people along in the future. It'd be really cool to do. I mean, these guys, if you guys ever want to shoot like something, by the way, couple things. If you guys ever want to shoot something on your film and send it to me, we could figure that out and I could make it a part of the show, or add it into one of these fun little Fire Fan TVs. If you guys ever shoot your own little Chicago Fire Fan TV, I'll add it in. And then also, if you guys are at the game and then I am not at the game, feel free to send and attach to Twitter your pictures of the game. We will show them live on stream, attribute them to you, the photos. We greatly appreciate that here at Spitting Fire. I've seen it done on a few other shows, and I was like, that'd be awesome if Chicago Fire fans want to send me a picture of the game that they're at. I will gladly show the cool image that they're showing, like them game side or far up or whatever the picture they got that they want to show us. Maybe it's them hanging out with a whole bunch of Chicago Fire fans. Send it in here to Chicago Fire. Tag me at Spitting Fire at CF9 at Fire Engine 97 on Twitter, and send it to us during the games, and we'll try and put those on the show. It'll be so cool. Greatly appreciate if you guys do that. By the way, guys, kick that like button, subscribe, and thank Big Phil for coming on. Go follow Big Phil. Big Phil, I got you right here. I want to read your Twitter handle so they can find you, unless you know it off the top of your head.
At Big Phil _Steve.
The link will be in description for him, by the way, but at Big Phil _Steve, like he said. One of the best follows in Fire, by the way. If you guys are looking for somebody who knows things, who has great opinions, follow Phil. Love him. Big fan of the show. He hops on every so often. Hopefully we'll get him on more and more as time goes on here. Greatly appreciate you, man, hanging out, by the way, brother.
No problem, man. No problem.
Let's go, Phil. We'll start closing down the show, but we're getting close to it. But we'll break into a little Sporting KC versus Chicago action. Catch up with chat saying, Slode saying, grew up near Sporting KC. Went to my first MLS game at Arrowhead. I hate them. So did you go back when they were the Wizards, Slow Days? Is that when they were the Wizards? I'm curious. PG1 saying, gonna be frosty on Saturday. Gonna be a cold one. Here in
Be frosty. Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be in the 30s, supposedly. 30s or 40s. So Chicago Fire and Sporting Kansas City, they're playing at Chicago Fire's home stadium at Soldier Field. However, the betting books currently picking Sporting Kansas City at 33% odds to win. Chicago getting only 39%. So slight edge to Chicago. The draw is at 27%. I should have this on the screen for you guys. Yep, cool. I do have it on the screen for you guys so you guys can see. Shows their last matches. It looks like the better money is to bet on Kansas City, but I'm betting on Chicago. Do you think that they're going to continue?
I definitely take Chicago at home. And just being with the defensive record that they've had so far this season, I think it continues. I think for Sporting Kansas City, they definitely have players you need to be mindful of in Johnny Russell, Saoli. But that being said,
Ben Sweat. I was listening to the Sad Boys podcast. They're worried about Ben Sweat covering Shaqiri. Shout out to Jiggly.
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say Ben Sweat is a pushover. I'm more willing to trust that Shaqiri will work his way around him than say, Ben Sweat pocketing Shaqiri.
Mm-hmm. That's they were making it sound. They still think a Fire could win or should win, but they were saying Ben Sweat. Maybe they were making a joke. It was hilarious. They were laughing their asses off.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It was more of a joke, but I think that minimum, the Fire walk away with a point.
Yeah, minimum. I agree. Minimum.
Minimum, I think they walk away with a point. I just feel like momentum is on the Fire side at this point. And I think being at home is going to have a big impact for the Fire. They're going to feel more comfortable. Ultimately, I think as the game goes on, it's just going to go more and more into the Fire's favor. If Sporting KC doesn't score first, if they don't score early, I think it just, as the game goes on, it goes further and further into the favor of the Fire.
Mm-hmm.
And it will just turn into the game they want to play, which is hard, grind them out type of match. 0-0.
With Gaga coming back, it sounds like Gaga coming back after that little of a injury scare makes me less nervous for the Chicago Fire. I think that, like you said, clean sheet could be in store or something similar. The tie seems like the bare minimum, and a win seems possible. But the one thing I worry about, Big Phil, the conditions. It's going to be frigid. Kansas City is going to be used to some of these conditions. They're not necessarily like a super warm weather team, so they're going to be used to some of these conditions as well.
I'm not worried about the Fire though. Considering the conditions that were DC, and they played fine and got the win, so not as worried.
Big Phil, you're getting some love in the chat, by the way. Slode saying, thanks, Big Phil. It has been great hanging out with you tonight.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Ditto that, Slode. Big Phil, it's been awesome hanging out with you guys, hanging out with chat. I love talking Chicago Fire with you guys. You guys are the best in the business. I get so jacked up talking Chicago Fire with you guys, like jacked up on Fruit Loops and Cocoa Puffs, man. It is so fun. So guys, kick that like button, share this with your friends, tell them, hey, where were you guys in the chat on Wednesday night? We're going to be here consistently Wednesday night, trying to go consistently, 7, 8 p.m. start time, roughly in that start time, and get more consistent with these podcasts. We, of course, got our Discord open. If you guys want to hop in eventually, and we could open up for radio type stuff. That's the idea here on Spitting Fire. We got the 2 ways for you guys to get involved. Hop on in the live chat, the best, most involved live chat on YouTube for Chicago Fire, and the Discord calls where you could leave in like a radio call. Meanwhile, Slow Day saying, yes, the Wizards, the Preki, and all was the team that he got to see and fall in love with. Do you think that was a
What?
great move that the Wizards changed into Sporting KC? I kind of miss the Wizards.
I mean, I think that was kind of we don't want to get made fun of in the soccer world, so let's change our name to
Yeah.
something more acceptable.
It is kind of weird when you think about it.
I mean, that's kind of how it's been for, I think, a few of these teams. I think the only team where I kind of wish they had their, I feel like they Metro Stars, like they're one of the. Sorry about that.
No, it's all right, man. What do you say about the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars?
I give credit to the Gotham FC. Like they were like, you know what? How about we don't do that? Let's just call ourselves Gotham, and it'll work out anyway.
Oh, FC Gotham.
And it's worked out fine.
FC Gotham's a cool name, Phil.
It is.
I get Batman vibes from it, and it's like it just makes me think, oh, that's so cool. I like that. But other cool names I got to shout out: Miami Fusion, defunct. The New York Cosmos, not here, and Chicago Sting. Should
you still have? Let's see, who do you still?
I hate Inter Miami.
But they need me.
I'm deciding this right now, Phil. I'm saying it on this podcast. I literally just determined it 2 seconds ago in my head, so maybe I'll change my mind later. But to Inter Miami is the worst name. They should have been Miami Fusion. Or Interfusion or something. I don't know.
I think they would have had a hard time getting that.
Yeah, it is weird again. It's kind of like that Wizards thing.
Yeah.
And is Chicago Fire in the same vein?
But the difference is with Chicago Fire, it was the only thing that changed was soccer club to football club, and I'm like, okay, like, all right, sure. Doesn't really make a difference to me whether it's FC or SC.
No.
It kept Chicago Fire.
Was that important to you?
That they kept Chicago Fire? Yes.
I agree. I don't know how it'd be jarring supporting Chicago United, Chicago FC, Chicago boring.
You already got lower division teams that took that.
Yeah, it's Chicago boring is what they're trying to do. That's what those other guys went for. We got one of the most exciting names in football. We got a name that's going to literally burn down your stadium if you play with it too much.
It's just like it's hard to be original at times.
Yeah, it is. PG saying great show tonight, by the way.
Thank you.
It's all you, man. Dude, what a great show. Thank you for coming on, Big Phil. It's so fun hanging out with you, brother.
All City Chicago Soccer Club.
Oh, All City?
All City Chicago Soccer Club.
What the
I
is
would
that?
have thrown a fit if that would have been the name.
All City? Where do they play? The Moon? I've never heard of this All City. It sounds like going out of a video game.
AC Chicago. That's what it would have been. Instead of saying athletic club, we were going to be so different by saying All City. Like, really? This is why I'm glad they stuck with Chicago Fire.
Hey, what about, how would you have felt about Atletico Chicago? Or is that just not possible?
Oh, that's not possible.
And also, it's Atletico. It's like, when you say Atletico, you know when you're who you're talking about Atletico, even if there is any other team that will try to bring in Atletico for whatever there is. But
Atletico San Luis.
What if you had? What if you did Athletic? You could have done Athletic Chicago, like change.
No. Like Atletico Ottawa.
Yeah, they just
Atletico Madrid. Like it's like, all right, I'm good on that.
So they're saying Gaga's getting a 4th clean sheet on Saturday night. 5 o'clock. 4:30 we'll be live here in Spitting Fire. For all of you guys who are going to be watching away, I encourage you to pull up the stream on Chicago Fire's own website if you're watching within 75 miles, or ESPN Plus. Watch it alongside with us and be part of the best live chat and best color commentary.
As long as it's not blacked out.
Tell me, hasn't it been blocked out on something? Somebody was saying, I think Joshua Norgard, follower of the show, was saying that he was having trouble watching it, and it was BS because it should have been not blocked.
Yeah, it was blacked out. I'm like, it was a blackout. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense at all. For the DC match, I'm like, is that a DC situation? Because I had my ESPN account set up. I was like, all right,
it wouldn't.
You couldn't on the big screen.
So you're outside of Chicago. You're outside of the 75-mile radius, and you were trying to watch, and you couldn't.
Oh no, I'm in the city. Dude.
Oh, then I think you got to watch on Chicago Fire's website or WGN. Did you do that?
Oh yeah, I eventually went to the website, but it's like still.
But still, that's bullshit because you pay for the one.
I paid for it. I should be able to watch every match with no blackout restrictions.
Agreed. It's so stupid. They got to figure that out. I think that they'll figure that out.
I hope with whatever TV deal they get, I hope they get the money they're looking for, and I hope with that they deal with this blackout restriction crap because it's ridiculous.
Do you think that they're gonna get a? Do you think they're gonna get a good TV deal?
I think they have the potential to get a big TV deal.
An improvement on their TV deal because their last TV deal was shit.
It was bad. I think with the upcoming World Cup in 2026, I think networks are going to be willing to overpay.
Yeah,
to get a shot at it.
That's true, because I mean, and here's one thing I wanted to talk to the Chicago Fire fans about. Like, if they want to get involved with the community and get more community outreach going, they better have some sort of plan for World Cup football, like to get all those Fire fans together. So maybe we have a game watch party for Shaqiri, or actually, I don't know what time the games are though, because the games are at different times, so it could be brutal. Time change for us, but
this upcoming World Cup or World Cup 2026?
this upcoming World Cup in Qatar.
Yeah. Then
But I'm hoping Chicago Fire is working on something, even though maybe if it's a late night watch party or something weird, or they could talk with me, Spitting Fire, and we could organize something really cool where we get a digital watch party, get some cool Chicago Fire people here hanging out with us. Like I could have them on screen and have a fun fucking show. Let's go.
Yes.
Slow Day saying that All City Chicago Soccer Club. Ugh. So after the first three games, they can change the name to Chicago Fire with a Z. You see that, Phil?
Yeah. Hey, he's earned it.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of Chicago.
Slow Day saying new TV deal is likely all ESPN Plus with no blackouts anywhere. I mean,
praise the Lord. That would be huge. No blackouts.
I think that's the one thing people would love. Get rid of the blackouts.
They don't make sense anymore. Like it's like, first off, you want your product to be seen by everybody, even if it's like not the legal. Like, you want your product to be seen. I mean, preferably you want them to pay for it, but as long as your product's being seen, there's interest. The interest grows. It gives the ability for the interest to grow and gain more interest, and then earn their dollars, their interest, their time, their favor, what have you. Big Phil, what does Chicago Fire need to do? In any capacity. I'm giving you the most general question. You could go any way you want, Picasso style. What does my question is, what does the Chicago Fire need to do next?
Saturday for the game or
anything. You can pick any direction you want to go with that. I gave it so open-ended.
Well, thank you. So on the field, they need to continue to solidify the roster. go ahead and make sure that they get the midfield depth that they need. I understand you want to bring in your youth, but you need a veteran midfield presence to come off the bench, just like you have in defense,
Mhm.
and just like you have at your winger positions once you get in everyone that you do. I think that's most important. You have depth at the forward position, you have depth at the wings, you have depth in defense. Now you need depth at the midfield positions.
But wait, I
And
have
you
a
need a
question,
veteran.
Big Phil, about the depth at wings. I mean, beyond Jairo Torres, beyond Fabian Herbers, beyond a current player Ivanov, who are we looking at as a winger for this team?
Gutierrez,
Oh yeah, Goots. Good call. Good shout.
Goots. You still have Brazera, Oforo, Chinoso
Wow.
has been able to play out wide
Hmm.
when asked up to. So
And I didn't shout out
that's why I'm
Duran, but
not
we don't
really-
want Duran playing out wide. We want to kind of shift
you
up top.
want Durant playing up top.
Hmm.
So but I'm not as worried about that.
How soon do you see Duran breaking in into a larger capacity than he is in now?
It's probably gonna have to be towards the. I wouldn't be shocked if it takes him a whole year, if it isn't until next season. Because I think he still needs to adjust to MLS. I think one thing people keep forgetting is that when you're bringing in these young kids from essentially a different continent, bringing them into MLS, it's not about just adjusting to the football. It's just socially adjusting. It's a different
Diet.
lifestyle you're going into. So there's a lot of adjustment to be made. And as a younger player, it's gonna take a lot more time than I think people realize. You know? So I think that's the main thing at this point.
We got 31 games left in the season. We've already got 3 gone. So, I mean, it feels like the season's almost over when I put it that way. There's only 31 games left, guys, plus Open Cup games. I asked you about how Duran. How about old friend Andre Reynolds? I had to ask about him. I heard Wooji shouting him out.
Yes, start Andre. Wouldn't be shocked if he's sent to a Chicago Fire too.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Wouldn't be shocked. Good night, Slow Days.
Good night, Slow Days. Thank you for hanging out, brother.
Thank you for hanging out, man. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be shocked if he got sent out on loan again, or he went to the Fire 2 side.
What do you think's more beneficial for him right now? Going to the Fire 2 side or getting loaned out to a USL 2 side or
He
something
had
like
a
that?
good season for Memphis. I think his thing is just getting playing time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need to know who ultimately need to know whether or not you really feel this guy can contribute to the team. You know, that's the truth of all academy players and draft picks. You
Phil,
gotta find out whether they can play or not.
I have a question about that, about playing time. Right now, what is subs limit for MLS this season?
5, I still think it's 5.
Oh, it is 5. Well, I hope they keep that forever. I'm of the opinion that 5 subs should be awesome. I've talked with other soccer fans, that say, and other fans of sports that say, it'd be awesome if soccer could do 2 things. What if they had always on subs, kind of like hockey? Could you imagine the pace and the franticness of those games?
I wouldn't do that. I would never want to do that.
Could you imagine those games?
Those games would be weird.
But what if they're goal heavy? Because there's guys just going hard.
Oh no. I just no.
I gotta see an
will be a
example.
puss in that sense. I can go as far as 5 subs, but I will not do on and off subs.
Okay.
No.
So 5 subs we're keeping, all subs no, and always on subs no. Not more than 5. 5, what I love about it, it goes back to what you were just talking about, this playing time issue that so many young players have, I think is compounded by the issue of 3 sub limitation in football. You open it up to 5 subs, all of a sudden you could afford to put out the 3 veterans and the 2 question marks out there every so often, or 1 question mark. You know, it just allows you to make that gamble where with 5 that you would never make with 3.
And also, I think ultimately, I think they will eventually go back to just the 3 subs. I think they want to go back to just the 3. I think 5 was, of course, because of COVID, trying to protect the players.
Mm-hmm.
It made sense. But I think, you know, like most things, people are just going to try to push back and go back to how it used to be.
So you think the players will push back and they want it to go back? The coaches want to go back? Or
no, I don't think the players want it. I don't think the players say care. I think it's more so coaches. It's going to be a coach thing. It's going to be a, you know, competitive balance thing.
A competitive balance, no, that to me is bullshit. I'm not saying your argument here is bullshit. I'm just saying when I hear that argument, I think that's bullshit. If Manchester United's playing Chicago Fire, they have 18 better players than Chicago Fire. It doesn't matter. Just because we both get to play 15, so what? If we really think those 3 extra players for Manchester United is going to be the difference in the game, it's already, the difference is already there. It's Manchester United, even though...
Yeah, well, say, you know, it's Manchester United taking on...
To me, that's anti-competition. It's anti-competition to limit the subs to 3.
I think the other thing is, you know, just talking about in terms of the rule, I think for a lot of people, it's like, well, now you're going to have a bunch of teams hoard up a bunch of talent now. Now they have the substitute slots to put on those 2 extra expensive signings, and it's like, all right.
So what? If they can, to me, it's like, so what? You see that with Real Madrid. What is Real Madrid doing? Right? To me, it's like the argument. There was. Oh, you were right, man.
Mm-hmm.
Take your time. Get a drink of water. Take your time. I was gonna say there was a time where I thought, you know, that rule had a place. I think, you know, years ago, but I think we're in new times now. I think that the Davids could fight with the Goliaths in a way that they couldn't before because of game tape, because of coaching, because of nutrition. There's so much more things that have evened the playing field for the rest of everybody that the best are no longer as best as they used to be.
Although I'd argue people will point out Manchester City, they will point at Chelsea, they will point out, they'll go ahead and point at, I'd say even the Juventus of the world, point out the Real Madrids, like you said. They'll point those clubs out and say, well, yeah, they can go bigger and better than everyone else.
They earned it.
And even
to me, they earned it. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, say they didn't earn it?
It's one of those complicated situations. Like, all right, what was the point of financial fair play?
Which makes sense, right? Like then there's like those things that just make sense. Like with the baseball, it's same with all those rules in America for salary caps. A lot of those things make sense for competitive fairness. So I definitely understand that, but that's where I'm like, this competitive fairness hurts the players, and where the other competitive fairness things more so hurt like the way the team's going to be built or comprised. It doesn't hurt the players directly. This subs rule directly hurts the players in that way, is what I've seen. I have 2 other ideas that I got from a buddy who's a sports fan, and he wants to watch more soccer. He hates the offside rule.
Okay, that people are gonna have to get over that. Like, I've heard that so many times from people who like, I don't get the offside rule.
I'm like, have you not seen hockey?
Oh, but hockey has the blue line. Soccer should have that. No.
It's the same concept. The blue line's the second to last defender. There you go.
That- just keep it like that. That's as easy as it is.
That's the blue line. It moves. The blue line moves. It's the most exciting blue line in sports.
Yeah, and it's like, and when they did, FIFA was like, yeah, no, there is no offside line. Like that goes bye bye.
Last one. I'm sorry. The last one I got for you that he wanted to bring back, and I actually am all for this one. MLS styled PKs to end for all regular season matches ending in a tie.
No.
End ties forever, he says. Give us NHL style, endings. You can't do 3-on-3 with the giant pitch. That's ridiculous. But penalty kicks is maybe the next best thing. But MLS style penalty kicks what probably makes you nervous. I imagine for me is like the possibility for injury.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue.
But that's the biggest issue with playing a sport is the possibility for injury. If we make that part of the game, it's part of the game.
I think the thing is you try to minimize, like the NFL has, you try to minimize opportunities for injury when you can.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so you can't stop all injuries, but if you can minimize when the windows of opportunity for obvious injuries are, and hey, it works out. And look, I would love for them to do that for All-Star Game. I would love for them to do that.
That's how they could bring it back. All-Star Game.
All-Star Game.
I love that. It's a great call, Phil.
Goalkeeper Wars. I know people want that back. PK Wars.
I love, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, those are things that I think you can implement those in. But in terms of regular season games and playoff games, no, that's just that's a no-go.
Too gimmicky in a way.
It's way too gimmicky.
And especially when we're in a place where the world's starting to take MLS a little bit more seriously.
Exactly. You made so many strides to be taken seriously. Just throw that gimmick on just to be gimmicky. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Regressive in its ways. Phil, thank you so much for hanging out, talking Chicago Fire with us. You want to get into your final comments here as we close down the show?
I want to say this, and this will be it. We've been through a very long period of suffering as Chicago Fire fans. And the fact is, for whatever reason, somehow, some way, we're still here. So, with that being in mind, I want everyone to know to keep up the support, to keep fighting hard, and keep supporting those men in red. Because I think we're on the way back to our throne. I think we are going to be back on our throne as the team in all of American soccer by the end of the next decade. I think we're on that path back to our glory. And, it's going to be one hell of a ride, but I look forward to taking that ride with every single one of you.
Phil, you blew my mind. You introduced a concept to me that I did not think about. I was just looking at the next 5 years and seeing, Fire, can they win a championship in the next 5 years? Yeah. I think they could do it with this team and with this coach and with this money behind them and this type of owner and this type of general manager and this type of infrastructure finally in place. But when it came to that 10-year mark and team of the MLS, I was not making those types of prognostications, those types of predictions. And wow, you blew my mind. If the Chicago Fire can do these things now, what I'm seeing in the next 5 years, it absolutely makes sense that what you're talking about will come to fruition. Chicago Fire have been waiting for a spark. Is Shaqiri that spark? Is Georg Heights that's part of that spark? Is Mansueto? All of this right now part of that spark?
Mansueto lit the match. He bought the club. Now it's up to well, I won't say he lit the match. He provided the materials to reignite the fire. Now it's up to everyone else to take the materials that he's given them and to burn it down and set everyone on notice.
Put MLS on notice. We are back. Sorry, say it again, Phil.
I said it's time for everyone to light it up and let everyone know we back up. We back in this for the good run and a long run and a dominant run. And at the end of the day, if you're not trying to be the best, then the hell are you trying to do?
If you're not first, you're last. Big Phil, you're hyping me up, man. I was already drinking some of the hopium, telling fans like, "Hey guys, it's okay to believe this year. I've been where you guys have been at every single year before this. I am not there this year. There's some team, something different. Something's different about this team that I'm believing. Join me."
Yes.
Thank you, Phil.
For having me on, man.
Phil, you're the best, man. All right, follow Phil on Twitter. Links in the description. Thank you, Phil, for hanging out. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for hanging out. Thank you for everybody watching after the fact. Spread this with your friends and your fire friends. Ask where you were in the fire chat. Let's get everybody going here and hang out here at Spitting Fire on Spitting Fire YouTube. Awesome new content coming out for you guys. Stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed. Ring that bell icon. Some funny new things from Spitting Fire that I swear you've never seen before. We got some magical stuff going on here in the next over the next few weeks. Just some amazing, hilarious content that I know you're going to be laughing about. Spread it with your friends. Get the Fire fans going again. Here's why I'm saying spread it with your friends. Your friends are latent Fire fans. Latent Fire fans. All you got to do, start that spark. Oh, here's a funny little video. Here's a 30-second video. It made me laugh about the Chicago Fire. Check it out. Bam. That's how it starts. All of a sudden they're talking. All of a sudden they're in the chat. All of a sudden they're lurking in the chat and they see you in the chat. And they're like, oh, you're here too? All of a sudden, bam, you're going to a game. All of a sudden, bam. That's how we foment the flames of Chicago Fire and burn down the algorithms of YouTube. Starts with the like and subscribe. Greatly appreciate you guys sharing this with all your friends and fans of Chicago Fire and MLS. Catch you guys on the next Chicago Fire podcast, Spitting Fire podcast, where we call it a fireside chat. I think we're going to be calling fireside chats more often because it really involves the chat. The chat's a key component of our live show that we do here at Spitting Fire. Big Phil, man, you're the bomb, dude. Greatly appreciate you hanging out here, dude.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, Phil. All right, chat. All right, Spitting Fire. All right, you pyromaniacs. We will catch you on the next one. Have a great one, Fire fans. Later. Shutting it down. Fire it up, footballers. Make sure you like it. We'll see you guys later. Bye.